Yeah. Okay. We're good. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I want to, like I said, I want to thank you for joining me as well on the podcast. And I want to say good afternoon to your followers, your listeners, and everything. We want to
Everybody's
welcome
listening.
them
People listening.
absolutely
Yep.
because I think this is going to be a great conversation. As I said, just love it
Absolutely.
when we can talk about the things that we're going to be talking about. Great leadership. We're going to be talking about the great things that you have going on, and just the light that you are. And I know you're a very humble young man, but the light that you shine on this city. And I believe you're from Baltimore, just like I am, and I love this city, and I want to be able to shine that light on the part of the city that folks aren't going to hear about a lot of the times,
Yeah, it's important.
We're
Important
going to
that
talk
people
about stuff.
hear about what we're doing here. So, I've been here pretty much all my life. wasn't born here, but I've been here all my life. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
product of the city, and it's important that I give back to our culture and give back. So again, having this podcast with you today is important. Talking about business. I don't know if you know, but I also do business consultation.
Yes, I did see that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do. I'm always talking to people about, their new opportunities and things that they're trying to do, being able to shed some light. So, with the questions that I saw for the podcast today, I was like, yeah, man, this kind of ties in with what I already do. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. I got some people that are already picking up to kind of see this on live. So
Cool.
I'm ready to jump in when you are, brother.
Cool. Let's jump in. And we want to welcome everybody to the brand new development series. It's your boy, Leroy McKenzie Jr. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all know how we do. We come to you all the third Monday of each month, bringing you some empowering, enlightening, impactful, not just conversations, but guests that bring that expertise, that bring their knowledge, their resources, and information to you. And today, we're going to jump right in it. I have an extraordinary young man doing some phenomenal things in and through and around the city of Baltimore. And I want to welcome my brother, Corey Brown, and who is an entrepreneur. I mean, this brother got things upon things upon things going on that he is doing. And I think when I got a chance to read a little bit about him, see what he's doing, I'm just like, this is a brother that I mean, Corey, you people have. I mean, so I'm quite sure the people that follow you have an idea of what the things that you do. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the people that we even spanned out from there with your brand, that Corey Brown brand, get to see this entrepreneur that is, and I call it young and gifted. I wrote a book some years ago called Young and Gifted, the new generation of entrepreneurship. And what I did was I focused on entrepreneurs that were not in music, sports, or entertainment.
Right.
Not that there weren't anything wrong with those industries, but those were the ones that you usually hear about all the time. You
Right.
don't hear about brothers like you who are doing what you do. So I want to start off. Let's start off the conversation by you just talking a little bit, giving people a little bit of background information on who you are, who Corey Brown is, and then a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, man. Again, first of all, thank you for inviting me on the platform. It's always a pleasure to be able to share what I do with people. It's even more of a pleasure for people that look like us to be able to see that other people like us are doing what we do, to give us an opportunity to be able to, um, show our people that it's attainable. So I appreciate that. I mean, I'm no different than anybody else that's listening or watching. I grew up in the city. I moved here at a very young age.
Mm.
My mother struggled. My dad was a heroin addict.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
it was low income. I just made a cognitive decision to want to do something different. Um, unfortunately, our culture, we get caught in this lethargic mindset that we can only get what's in front of us.
Mm.
So we don't aspire for more. We don't have the desire to want to be different. Um, And I've always been that kid, right? Even when I was younger, when I played sports, I was always the smallest kid. I was always, but I always felt like I could be the best. Even when I didn't know how, I always felt like, you know, why not me? Why can't I be that kid? And though it requires a different level of work, hard work that is, it always started with the mindset, which
Mm.
then transpired to action. So at this point, I do run a few businesses. I own a real estate firm called C Brown Properties here in downtown Baltimore on Reed Street. I'm a full service real estate agent. I'm a licensed contractor. I'm an architectural designer, which is my true passion, and I'll get into that a little later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I teach people how to invest, which is, something that I really have a passion to do. I love to help people. I love to teach. I love to inspire. So that aspect of it is something that I always wanted to do, because I feel like, once you gain a certain level of information and knowledge, what good is it if you can't share with other people?
Absolutely.
So, this is what I do in the real estate realm. And then for those that don't know, and this is kind of a breakout, I guess I'll share this information with you. I haven't really told many people, but I will be a full service real estate broker in June. So my
Oh.
my firm will be a brokerage, no different than a KW or
Mm-hmm.
Long and Foster. So I really want to capture and corner the market in real estate, but also be able to teach people as well. And then obviously my restaurant, which is my baby, Noir Restaurant Lounge, which is, fine dining. Well, not quite fine dining, but, elegant cuisine, really good food, great atmosphere. So, I'm trying to press the envelope, brother. I want to be able to show people that no matter where you come from, no matter what your circumstances are, you can always be what you want to be if you desire to do it.
Absolutely, and that's I mean, and that's awesome, and that's a great, like you said, mindset is everything. Because I did a posting this morning about attitude, and me and a friend of mine, we were having this conversation the other day, and it was so profound, and we talked about it, and he was like, your attitude determines everything that happens to you in life. It's not about the things that happen to you.
Mhm.
It's about how you react to those things. So
Mhm.
the mindset and attitude go hand in hand with that. So you told us a little bit about your background and everything like that. I want you to tell the people something that they're not going to get on the bio, they're not going to get in the resume. What's something that people would not know about you or even think about Corey that you can kind of share with them a little
Um, well, one of the biggest things that in my where I teach, I mentor, um, um, is everything that you do doesn't have to necessarily be seen, right? So
bit? Mm,
people, want to, and that's the first thing. The second thing is no substitute for hard work. And actually, I'll switch that. So when I talk to people all the time, people that want to be entrepreneurs, people that want to get into real estate, people that want to, do different, they have, I can tell from the desire and the conversation, the passion in their voice is something that they really want, right? But what people really don't want to do is to put forth the work and the effort to get it.
mm-hmm.
Uh, anything worth having is worth working for, whether
Absolutely.
it be a relationship, whether it be being a millionaire, whether it be starting a business, whether it be being a parent. It doesn't just happen by chance, right? You can't just decide today or tomorrow, well, this is what I want to do when I work. So to answer your question, people really don't see the behind the scenes, the hard work that I put in to be in the space. They
Mm,
see things show up and they see, me come on the scene and, maybe dress well or whatever. But I really, really, really work hard, right? I probably get about 5.5 to 6 hours of sleep. I'm really focused. I don't spend a whole lot of time, you know, BSing, so to speak. I really work. I really plan what the next step is, and I try to plan ahead.
mm,
And you know, any successful person, whether they're multimillionaire, Jay-Z, Beyonce, whoever, they worked for what they have. We just happen to see the end result.
right.
And to piggyback on that, people don't really know the struggles that we go through.
Mm,
Uh, it's not always, peaches and cream. It gets tough. So having a certain level of fortitude that people really don't see. You know, I'm a pretty even kill type of person. You'll never know if things are going completely horrible or things are going great. So one of those things that people don't know is they really don't know when things are going wrong, because I always stay positive and I always keep a positive insight, and I always, stay focused on my grind, and just want to manifest positive energy, because you put out positive energy, you get it back. So those at least are the two things that I can really say that people don't see the work that I put in. I really go, brother. Like I'm a machine, and I'm okay with that. I feel like at this point, other than being a father to my son, I have an amazing 15-year-old, my business, my career, is what I want to build for my family. So I work, and that's what a lot of people don't see. They kind of see the end result. They see the restaurant pop up. They see, the podcast and stuff. It takes a lot of preparation to get to this point.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that, and I totally agree with you that people don't understand that. When I look at people like Kobe, who just passed away recently, and it was one of the things that I didn't realize, because I wasn't a big Kobe fan,
Mhm.
but I found once he had retired, he had kind of opened up a lot more to people. And he did a lot more interviews, and I got to see from the interviews, I got to see a lot more of who he was.
Mhm.
And he talked about his mindset, his work ethic. I mean, this dude had a crazy, crazy work ethic. He was, super laser focused. And one of the things that I always remember about him saying was he talked about practice,
Mhm.
and he talked about every day in practice is game 7.
Mhm.
And he always talked about, so that when you got to that, it was like you were just already in it, so you already knew what it was. It was just
Right.
like being at that practice, and you're so right that people don't think about what it takes for you, what behind the scenes and stuff that entrepreneurs do, and even other people, successful people do, what they do to be able to get to where they are. And a lot of people honestly aren't willing to make that sacrifice. You
That's
know,
it right there.
it really is. Yep.
That's it right there. Two things, and I don't want to cut you off, but let
No,
me
go ahead.
that. So I watched a 30 for 30, and they were talking about a football coach.
Mhm.
And one of the things that was profound that stuck out to me is they said that people love beginnings and people love endings, right? People
Mm.
I like to start a new job. I'm excited about this new relationship. I like these new shoes. I'm excited about this new business I'm about to start. And then they also like when things end. This
Mhm.
relationship sucks. I'm so glad that it's over. The school year is done. I'm so glad that it's over. I graduated from college. I'm so glad that I've graduated. But people don't really appreciate the middle. The
Mhm.
sustainability, being able to sustain the same energy from the time that you started until the time that it's done. I read a book called Relentless, and I forget the author, forgive me, but I
Mm.
encourage you to read that. It's called Relentless,
Okay.
but it talks about Kobe and Michael Jordan and their relentless effort that they put in terms of the work that they did to be great. It
Mm.
speaks exactly on that. And he talked about he's a trainer. I forget his name. He's a real professional trainer, but he trained Michael Jordan. He also trained Kobe.
Mm.
In that book, it talks specifically about how relentless they were at being great, right?
Mm.
And it did something to me because, I thought that I was being relentless. Nowhere near, right? So it helped me really, press the pedal on the gas to say, okay, you thought you was doing something. Now you really got to turn up the fire now. So that's the thing. A lot of people want to be great. They want the nice things, the freedom, the security, the take the trips in the nice cars and whatever that they feel is of value,
Right.
but they don't want to be relentless when it comes to what they'd rather watch TV or they'd rather watch, like I listen to a lot of Grant Cardone. Oh, this guy's insane, but I love him, right?
Mm.
He's relentless at what he wants to accomplish. So again, it all boils back to mindset. If it's something that you want from a mental standpoint, if you want it bad enough, you have to be relentless and go at that. And that's, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm relentless because I'm determined to get what I came for.
Absolutely, absolutely, and greatness is something that that you do have to be relentless at, because if it were easy, then everybody would be
That saying?
doing it. It just is, and it takes another level to be able to get there. So that's true. Now, did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Was that something that you kind of aspired to be when you think back on it?
Yes, it is, brother. I aspired to be an entrepreneur since I was a kid. I'm a natural born leader. Every team that I've ever played for, I always ended up being the team captain. I always ended up, I was always the most vocal. I was always the most emotional on the team. I always wanted to lead. So, certain things in your life, even as a kid, is not by chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the God's given gift that He gave you, and it was just one of those things, man. I always wanted to be great. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but it didn't really hit home until I started to work, right? So I started to work at an age. I started at 13,
Mm-hmm.
and I found myself wanting to run it. Any organization. I worked at the Gap. I worked at Banana Republic. I worked at McDonald's. And I always felt like, not that I felt like I could run it better than the person that was running it, but I always felt like, well, why can't I be the person that's running this? Why can't I? And I always worked myself from, you know, um, just a traditional employee to a manager of some sort. And that stuck out to me. That said a lot when it came to just my desire to be an entrepreneur. And once I, kind of decided that, I feel like I can run my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a clue on how to do it. I just felt like I could do it. And that's what I did. I really started to get focused, laser focus on, what I wanted to do. And I just pressed the gas on doing it. And again, I started out as an investor. This is when the market was hot and everybody was buying real estate for pennies on the dollar, and
Mm-hmm.
you could go up and get a loan. Um, you know, I'll give you that brief story. So I worked for the Baltimore Ravens. I worked in the front office for 2 years.
Okay.
That was the best job that I ever had, and it was the last job that I ever had. I was at a at a game with the organization, and I seen an infomercial about no money down real estate, and I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
I could do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can buy real estate. I didn't have any money. The Ravens wasn't paying any money, but I just felt like, I want to do my own thing, right? I want to create my own legacy and my own destiny for, my family and my kid. And I didn't have a kid or anything like that at the time. So I had a little bit more wherewithal. So I came and started to read some books and do some self-taught stuff. And I was able to get a student loan to purchase my first property. I took that student loan and bought my first property. I fixed it up myself because, again, and I don't know if you know, but I have a construction background from high school. I went to
Okay.
Emerson High School, which was a trade school. I was
Mm-hmm.
one of the top kids in the country at construction. We had competitions. So I knew what I was doing in that front.
Okay.
I fixed the house up, painted it, put it on the market to be rented. It rented out. I refinanced on it, and I made $50,000. And I was 20, maybe 22.
Nice.
22-year-old kid with 50 grand. I probably, yeah, I looked at my banking account probably 30 times that day. I had to make sure it was real. So it was good, man. And from there, I just started to, develop more things that was real estate related. I've always had a passion for real estate. So
Okay.
yes, from a very young age, I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wanted to be impactful, right? I seen how, you know, real estate in this particular market, it's tough, right? Certain neighborhoods are really, really tough.
Yeah.
So, one of my biggest mantras is, if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like being a part of the solution is helping out where I could. And if redevelopment, especially with the passion, desire as a designer to make these houses nice for our culture was the way to go, then why not? So that's kind of where it started.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Now, what does being an entrepreneur mean to you?
I just had this conversation with someone else. Being an entrepreneur is it's almost being a superhero, to be honest with you.
Mm,
You kill what you eat, right? So you no longer sit back and wait on a check from someone else.
mm.
People have to create it, right? You're responsible for families. You're responsible for your family. But that's on the financial piece. But it means a lot when it comes to creating something bigger than you, right? So what I'm trying to create is not just about me.
Right.
It's for our culture. It's for my son. It's for my grandchildren. It's for, I'm trying to create a legacy, but I'm also trying to help other people with our service, right? So I help people find homes as a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a certain level of gratification to me to be able to help someone find their dream home. That I'm the person that helped you find the home that you're going to create memories in with your family for the rest of your life. That means a lot. To be able to design a space, whether it be a nightclub, I design nightclubs, I design restaurants, I design beauty salons, I've designed homes. So for people to be able to walk into this place and say, man, this is amazing, that means a lot to me. As a teacher and mentor, when people come to me and say, look, I need your help to teach me how to be successful. And I'm able, when they walk away and they're like, oh, I got it. It's no different than when you watch your kid. I don't know if you have children, but when you teach a kid how to tie his or her shoes, or you teach a kid how to ride a bike, or you teach a kid how to use their fork to eat their own food, that excitement that they have once they learned it, it means a lot to me. So,
Uh-oh. I think we froze up, so hopefully it'll pop back on shortly. But he was saying some really good stuff, just about talking about how just how impactful it is when you are when you're living your life and you actually are able to impact other people's life. Him being a real estate. Oh, I don't know what that was. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Mm.
Yeah, that's all
But
good.
but I'm sorry. I think you were talking about just the impact that you were having, or that you have with people in real estate, and then the other businesses that you actually have.
Yeah. No, I just said that it means a lot as an entrepreneur, not only to be able to, service, provide a service for other clients, but to be able to help people as well. It's deeper than just, trying to make money. It's bigger than money for me. I mean, granted,
Mm.
I want all the money that I can make, but it's bigger than a financial return, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And my thing is I call myself the impact chaser. And because I'm chasing the impact, and I
Right.
always believe this, that when you chase the impact, you change the world.
That's
When you
right.
think when you think about anyone who has been somebody who's done some great things in this world and everything, they've had such an impact in the world, that they've changed and shaped the things that have in their circle, and that have happened in the world. So I wholeheartedly agree with you, and I just want to piggyback up on what you said a little bit about learning. The excitement of when you talked about your kids learning, when we learn new things and stuff like that. Always, and I'll never forget this. My dad, I was 10 years old, and I was doing a speech. Had to do a speech at school, and my mother wound up calling him to have him come over to show me how to tie a tie, because
Right.
I'm 10 years old, didn't know how to tie a tie.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes over, and we take about 10 minutes or so, and he shows me how to tie a tie. From that day on, I've known how to tie a tie.
Right.
And it's one of those things. Every time that I tie that tie, I think about him, because he passed away in 2012. But I
Sorry.
remember several years before that and everything like that. And I said, Dad, I want to thank you. He's like, for what? He said, for teaching me how to tie a tie. I said, I see so many guys these days don't even know how to do something that simple. or don't even have, didn't have a dad developer to show them something like that. So when you think about those things and the excitement of me being able to say, hey, I can, back then I tie my own tie and everything like that. Those little things count when it comes to impacting people's lives.
Absolutely.
Whether it's moving into a house, like you said, they'll create memories off of it. Or with you doing your business consulting, when you have somebody that actually has that business that started, and you get to see them bring that vision to reality, and it's now reality to them, and they have it. It's an awesome feeling.
It is. Even in my restaurant, it's funny. I'll sit back from time to time,
mm-hmm.
and I'll find a corner, and I just kind of look around. I'm like, man, when I see people enjoying themselves and the food is amazing, and they're laughing and joking and talking and enjoying, just company, it's a gratifying feeling to me, because that's what I did it for, right? The name of the restaurant is Noir, which
mm-hmm.
is French for black, right? I'm not racist or anything, but I just felt like in the Baltimore market, or in general, we needed something that was just as elegant as a Sagamore or a Ruth Chris or, Wooden Wisdom or Bygone, that felt great. And I don't really know of really many Black-owned restaurants that give us that feeling, especially in this Baltimore market. So when I'm able to sit back and kind of take it all in, does it feel good to see people supporting your business? Absolutely. Does it feel good to, be a part of something bigger than yourself? Yes. But what's more gratifying is seeing the reason why I did it is for people in our culture to be able to come and sit down and enjoy themselves and eat good food and have a drink with a friend and just enjoy the time. When I see that, it's like, man, this is dope. This is what I did it for. I tell people, I told a group, guy proposed to his wife, his fiance, and it was she cried, and it was such a joyous moment. And I just said, this is why I did this. This is why my partner and I created this. And so we've been a part of creating a memory for you, because when she talks 10 years later, given that they're still married, babe, remember when you proposed to me in Noir?
Yeah.
Right. You'll never forget about Noir. So that's for me, that's important. That's really big for me.
Wow. Exactly. That's an awesome way of actually seeing it and how we, need to approach these things. What's your biggest accomplishment to date of being an entrepreneur that you believe that you would say would be your biggest accomplishment right now?
That's a double-edged question, because I don't think that I've even accomplished my biggest accomplishment yet. I think I have so much more to offer. I have so much more to give. I have so much. It's so much more to be able to. I'm just scratching the surface, right? So I think that I still have more to go, but for the sake of our conversation, I think that just being able to sustain is a major accomplishment, right? You see so many people start a new business, have the best ideas and intentions, and unfortunately, it doesn't manifest the way they want it to,
right?
For whatever reason, right? It could be financial, it could be whatever the reason is. It just doesn't manifest long term.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in business for 17 years.
Wow.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've been on the brink of foreclosure. I've made tons of money. To be able to say that I'm still in business and I'm still being recognized as an entrepreneur. People like yourself still are interested in even having these type of conversations with me. People look at me as somebody to come to as a resource for information about real estate, for information about business. That is the biggest accomplishment for me, that I'm still able to, push and grow and continue to be great. So it means a lot. It means a lot to me. Me personally, it's not a monetary thing. Oh, I got this office downtown or I drive this car or whatever. I don't care about that.
Right.
For me to still be able to say, I'm still doing what I love. I'm still chasing my dream. I'm still inspiring people. That's it right there. That's it for me.
Absolutely. Now, what's been your biggest challenge?
Sustainability. It's the same thing. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It gets tough, brother. People don't understand that being an entrepreneur is not you have to be committed
Mm,
to what you're doing. And it
mm,
has to be bigger than money. Right. And I say that a lot. You have to be committed and it has to be bigger than money because financially, you can make money doing a lot of things.
mm.
And if it's not bigger than money, you'll give up. Right. So my programs, my first, the way I start my classes off is what's your big why. So I ask people like, what's your why? Like, what's your why outside of money? Like, what are you doing this for? And I want people to dig deep. And I've had people to dig deep to the point where they've actually cried because I want you to really dig deep. I've dug deep to figure out, well, why am I doing this? And especially once you've had it. Listen, brother, I've drove nice cars and I've dated beautiful women and I've been to the dopest places you could go and I've traveled the world and I've hung around the celebrities and blah, blah, I had jewelry. But after that, then it's like, okay, well, what now, right? It has to be bigger than that. So for me, initially as a young kid, of course it was about having the nice, cool stuff. But once you get of a certain age, it's like, okay, well, I have that. Why am I doing this now? And, that is what keeps me going. But that's the challenge as well. You got to challenge yourself every day to wake up and say, all right, let's get it. Let's do it. And even when it's not going right and things suck and business isn't coming in and people aren't responding to your calls and blah, 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 clients want to, what you going to do? That's the biggest challenge. You got two options. You're going to give up or you're going to keep pressing. So it's a gift and a curse. It's a double-edged sword. It's the biggest accomplishment, but it's also the biggest challenge.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time too when I'm speaking and stuff like that. I said this entrepreneurship journey. I said it's not for the weak. One. I said it's because it will have you curled up like a baby, wondering why am I doing this? Why did I do this?
Yep.
All of those things. I said, and like you just said, if it isn't bigger than money, a lot of people will fold and they'll give up on it. And people, and I think entrepreneurs say it. I know you've heard it. I know you say it just as well as I do, that most entrepreneurs don't succeed within the first 5 years. The businesses, I'm sorry, not entrepreneurs, most businesses don't succeed in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
That's just the numbers about it. And people, and I think one of the reasons why they don't they aren't able to go beyond those 5 years is because, like you just said, sometimes it has to do with finances or whatever, but sometimes it has to do with people not being prepared to do the thing to be able to stay with it. Like you said, you've had times where you've been, you made a lot of money, but there have been times where you worried about making payroll, and
Absolutely.
to be able
Absolutely.
to navigate those areas. It has, I think is one of the things that I think that hopefully that the viewers are listening, that they will understand that you're gonna have those peaks, you're gonna have those valleys, and how you navigate in between is going to make the difference as to whether your doors stay open or whether your doors closed shut. My thing has always been about, there's plenty of books and everything else. You can listen to YouTube and all those other things every single day about how to start a business. My thing is about how, once those doors are open, how do you keep those doors open beyond the 5 years? Because most entrepreneurs, most people aren't talking about that. How do you keep those doors open? How do you come into something that you really, most people, when you think about it, I know with me, entrepreneurship, yeah, you want to aspire to be an entrepreneur, but at the same time, you don't understand what it takes to be a Fortune. And I have so much more respect for those Fortune 500 companies because you see, hey, it takes a lot to just be, you know, even just a small range business. But can you imagine what it takes to even get to that level?
Yeah, it's
And
commitment.
yeah, and the commitment, right? Exactly what you just said. That commitment and attitude for to be able to do for you. Now,
Real quick, hey guys, again, I'm on a podcast with my good friend Leroy McKenzie on the brand new U development. For those that join me, I appreciate everybody that's on. So got a little bit further to go, but I just wanted to show some love to everybody on my Instagram that's looking at the podcast right now. So just wanted to let you know you can follow my good friend Leroy McKenzie on Instagram. He'll give his information later, but just wanted to let everybody know who's joining us at this point, that you're on live with C. Brown and my man Leroy McKenzie on the brand new, the brand new development entrepreneur series. I'm talking about entrepreneurship. So carry on, bro.
cool. Now, what real quick? What give the viewers 3 quick things advice. Give them some 3 quick points or advice that you would give somebody who is an aspiring entrepreneur, or even somebody that may be an entrepreneur and is trying to get to their next level. What advice would you give them?
Well, from the door, you wanna really figure out what you want to do, right? So when I have my mentor programs or my 1 hour or 3 hour consultations about entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, the first question I ask them is, well, what do you want to do? Right? What do you want to do? What do you want to do, and what do you love? Right? So the reason why I'm relatively successful at what I do is because it's what I love. So it doesn't feel like work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
You still there?
Yep, I'm here. Go ahead.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first thing I always say is find what you love. Find what you love to do and what you're good at, right? We all have a talent. My talent is teaching, inspiring, and design, right? I love to teach. I love to inspire. And I love, architectural design. It's what I love to do. So first thing is I say, find what you love, right? Figure that out. And devise a plan, right? Find what you love and devise a plan. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong or great, or just figure out a plan. The second thing is find somebody that does what you do or does what you love. No, we haven't reinvented the wheel, right? It's a ton of designers. It's a ton of guys that do podcasts or whatever you love to do, or hairstylists or football players. Find a few people that really, gives you that you can get some information from, right? Kobe wanted to be like Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Right? So he studied Michael Jordan. He made that clear. He didn't hesitate about it. He said, I wanted to be like Michael Jordan. And if you follow Kobe, his mannerisms was Michael Jordan 100%.
Absolutely.
Find that person that you want to be like, right? So my person is Puff, right? I love Puff. I think he's one of the most profound businessmen that there is in our culture. Grant Cardone, he's amazing. Like, he's such a major player in the entrepreneurial realm. He goes so hard.
Yeah.
So find somebody that you want to emulate and study them. Look at their podcasts, listen to their interviews, read books on them, because that's going to give you a bit of a platform to how you can make your thing. It doesn't have to be like Puffy doesn't do design, right? He does music. I don't do music, but he's a smart businessman.
Right.
So I follow him as a businessman. My other guy is 50 Cent. I love 50 Cent. People give him a hard time because of his persona, but he is probably one of the smartest businessmen that you could ever follow, right? So first, find what you love to do. Figure that out. Sit down and have what I call a by myself meeting, and sit with yourself, by yourself, and figure out, well, what do I love to do? What excites me when I think about doing it, or when I'm in the realm of doing it? What makes me excited? And pursue that. Find the person that. The second thing is find the person that does it, and then the last thing is never give up. Never give up. No matter how hard it gets, if it's what you want to do, mentally, emotionally, go at it with everything that's left. Because the reality is, it is everything that's left, right? You're either going to do that or you're going to be stuck working for somebody and helping them pursue their goals and their dreams. So those are the three things that I would give. Find out what you want to do. Figure that out. Find out what that looks like. Find somebody and emulate that person to the T. If you can walk like them and talk like them, and do it, right? Create your own thing with it, right? And I've done that, right? And then never give up. Listen, I'm gonna get what I came for. I'm gonna get rich or die trying, and I really mean that. So those are the three nuggets that I would definitely say are very very prevalent and very important to being an entrepreneur. The new people. It doesn't matter where you start. Just start. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I love that, man. And like I told you, you were talking about Kobe. This is how relentless and how he wanted to be great so much. Not only did he mimic Michael Jordan and everything like that, this dude, he talked to Magic because of his business acumen that Magic had. He said he talked to, when he was playing basketball, he sat down with Eddie Jones, who was his teammate at the time, because he did this particular thing well, and he wanted to learn how to be able to do. I think he said he came off screens or something like that really well, and he wanted to be able to learn how to be able to do that. And we as entrepreneurs have to understand that, like you said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's there for us. We just have to take the time to see those who are in front of us. They got I don't call it the blueprint. I call it the black print. It's the black print of the things that we want to be able to do. Like you said, Puffy and 50, they're doing it on such a level that and folks just sleep on, because they think of them as the hip hoppers or rappers and stuff like that, and not for the businessmen and the empires that they built. These men have been, built businesses, not just a business, multiple businesses. Like you. And that's what I want to get into, because you do multiple things. You have a restaurant, you do the construction, you do the architectural work. Talk about how you're able to differentiate the brands that you have, the different brands that you have, and even your approach to each of them, because I'm sure that you brand yourself a different way when it comes to each of those. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So C. Brown Properties is the umbrella. It's the real estate firm, right? Mm-hmm. So under C. Brown Properties, I have different businesses. So C. Brown Properties is the total umbrella for one, CDB Design Concepts. So CDB Design Concepts is my build design. So that's the construction and the design portion of it. So if you go to cdbdesignconcepts.com, you'll be able to see my design work, right? So I started out just being a contractor. Mm-hmm. Well, what I started to realize is people really don't understand that there is a true difference between construction and design. Mm-hmm. So if Leroy went to buy a house from a developer, the developer's going to say, well, where's your blueprint? Where's your design for your house? And you have to give them an architectural design, potentially a 3D rendering, to let them know what this house needs to look like. And then the builder will build the house. Right. Well, in addition to that, you also need an interior designer to basically create the finishes. Well, what color is your kitchen? We know we got to put cabinets in there, but what type of cabinets and what color granite? And does it go with the walls? And what type of lights do you want in there? So it's a lot of different components. So my construction and design division is one component of my business. And then you have the property management piece, right? So there are a ton of investors that need property management, that I offer property management. services to those clients that buy investment properties. That's a completely separate division. That's under C. Brown Properties. Me being a real estate agent, that's just me solely as an agent, but that also falls under C. Brown Properties because it covers the real estate realm of things. The teaching aspect is Millionaire Mindset, right? So Millionaire Mindset is just that. I want you to come in with a mindset to be a millionaire, because that's where everything starts. You know, I've been reading a lot of books. I've read The Secret. I've read The Secret of the Ages. I've read How to Get Out of the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. All of these books specifically talk about your mindset and creating a different mindset to go after what you want. So in my program, I'm teaching real estate mentorship, but it starts with a mindset. So we start off my program talking about a mindset. So that business is called Millionaire Mindset. And then obviously Noir, which is the restaurant piece. Again, I'm not racist. I love all people. I don't care. You could be green. But I wanted to specifically do something for our culture. I'm for the Black and brown all day. That's just, you know, I am who I am. And I want our culture to feel like we have something that makes us feel comfortable. We don't have to go to Capitol Grill for us to feel a certain way, because quite frankly, that's why we go out. Otherwise, we could just stay at home and eat. We go out for a feeling. So I wanted to create a feeling that was specified for us, right? That gave us what we were looking for. So each business has its own individual meaning. It speaks directly to what I offer, has its own backstory, but that's how it was created. I thought it through. I said, okay, this is what I want it to mean. Millionaire Mindset means I'm teaching you real estate mentorship, but the mindset has to be, I'm going to be a millionaire, because if it's anything short of it, then what am I doing this for? And each business, C. Brown Properties obviously was my brand. My name is Corey Brown. I wanted to create a brand. So me as a real estate agent under my brand, Corey Brown, C. Brown Properties, in addition to property management, is what I wanted to offer. And then the construction piece, CDB, Corey Darnell Brown, which is my full name, Design Concepts, because these are my design concepts that I'm creating in your space, right? Mm-hmm. So, but each different component under the full umbrella, I wanted to capture each. It's like having a kid. Like your kid end up getting your last name, but you want to give them their own name, to their own first name, to create their own individuality. So that's what I've created. Basically, everything is under C. Brown, but it has its own individuality under this large umbrella. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And I hope entrepreneurs understand what you just talked about, because I look part of that too is, and I'll take it a little further, is about multiple streams of income.
Absolutely.
And I tell people, you should, if you read about those successful, wealthy millionaires, billionaires, they have multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. And they don't have just one thing that they're doing all the time. It's actually multiple streams. And I call it leveraging too.
That's right.
Because if there's one part of it, business is cycles. It's nothing but cycles. Mm-hmm. And if there's one aspect of your business that it might be the slow season or the slow cycle for it, you have the other one that may be in their up cycle, in their busy season. So it all averages out for you, and you have the steady flow of income. So I hope people can understand that, how you position yourself, because that positions yourself to be able to do not just do multiple things, but have multiple streams of income that you have coming in, and how important that is for an entrepreneur, for a
Leroy, you're back.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what is going on.
Next time you got to come in the office. We got to sit face to face and do this.
Yeah, but what I want you to do really quick, because we're closing out, is I want you to talk about the Millionaire Mindset Academy that you have really quickly for those that may be interested in that. Sure. And then we'll get into all of your contact information for you, and how people can connect with you if they want to support your business. If they need to have the architectural design, if they want to visit Noirs, they want to come out and visit Noir restaurant. They want to come out to the restaurant, have a great evening for dinner and everything like that. Talk about the Millionaire Academy first, and then your contact information for everybody.
So So I'll tell you why I started it and how it manifested to being what it is. It's called Millionaire Mindset. Again, I've been in real estate since 2004. I've been through a phenomenal phase of entrepreneurs making a ton of money. But I also been through a phase where it was tough, where, you know, we went through a bit of a recession where people struggled. And now we're kind of in a middle where people can still buy properties. They're not as cheap as they used to be. Being able to get loans aren't as easy, but you can still qualify for some stuff. And there's still a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs that want to be real estate investors because, you know, the true reality is, you know, real estate isn't going anywhere. You know, it's no shortage of people that need somewhere to stay. So as a property manager and a real estate agent, you know, I had the fortunate and unfortunate pleasure to deal with a lot of clients, even as an investor myself, that were making a lot of mistakes, like a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. And I would ask just general questions like, well, who told you to buy this property? Mm-hmm. And, you know, did anybody advise you that this is not in the right neighborhood? Or how do you know if this is a good deal? And how did you evaluate construction costs? And, you know, and as I started to listen to the answers, I was like, man, people really don't know what they're doing, right? And I started to see a lot of people like literally lose a lot, bro, like lose a lot of money and families and you know, getting divorced and financially not being in the right space. I just seen a lot of stuff to where I was just like, you know, I'm a firm believer that if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So as people continue to ask me like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do about this? And how do you do this? And what does this mean? And well, I'm an agent. I'm managing property. I'm a licensed contractor and I'm an investor. So I'm like, well, and I love to teach. So I'm like, well, what better person would it be to give this information to people than myself? So I started to help a few people here and there, but I started to see that it started to turn into like people always asking questions. And because I'm a giver by nature, I sit and talk to people for hours. Right. And a light bulb went off. I said, well, the most successful and richest people in the world are people that don't use their hands, they use their brain. And they teach people. If you look at all of the people, a lot of people that are rich, they stop doing what they used to do and they teach people how to do it. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, well, why not start to teach people? So I started my program about 8 years ago. I put together a solid program where it would teach people step by step on all aspects of how to be a successful investor. Initially, I only worked with my own clients, right? If they were my clients, I worked with them because I knew that they were serious. I really didn't want to waste a whole lot of time talking to a whole bunch of people arbitrarily that were just kind of like, you know, whatever. Like I said, no, I want to work with those people that I know that are serious because I don't really have a whole lot of time to waste. And I started looking at all these infomercials of your Than Merles and your, you know, all these guys that had like programs that were extremely expensive, right? $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I'm like, man, if you're going to spend $50,000 on a property, you might as well just buy a property. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, if you're going to spend that type of money on a program, you might as well buy a property. Mm-hmm. So I felt like if I offered something a little bit more reasonable, but I had some true value and content to it, it would be beneficial. So Millionaire Mindset was born. And again, I've progressed and I've added so much value and content to the program. So it's a 6-week program where people meet with me for 3 hours a day, 1 day a week, whatever day is convenient with your schedule. And I'm teaching people from literally start to finish how to be a successful investor. We do a ride along. I teach you how to evaluate construction costs. I teach you how to evaluate if it's a good deal. I teach you about property management. I teach you about financing and hard money lending and what's considered a good deal. And like we literally step by step go through. You have homework, you have tests, you have quiz, your book you have to read. We do a Q&A throughout the week to basically answer any questions that you may have. And then when the ride along, basically I walk you through properties. We ride neighborhoods so you can kind of see what does a good neighborhood look like? And what does a bad neighborhood look like? And we walk through properties, and I break down construction costs. Your average kitchen at this size should run you about this, and your bathroom that should run you about this. And who are the people you need on your team, right? What does that look like? So I help you create your whole business infrastructure and how to be a successful investor, because I realize people don't have a clue. Like, they don't have a clue. They watch an infomercial, they see some HGTV, some DYI, and they say, you know what?
Yep.
I'm being invested tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Until they lose thousands of dollars, and then they're ready to pop their head off. So it's been going very well. You know, people call all the time. I'm actually in the process of making some new moves that I can't quite get into right now, but I'm really excited about the next step for my Millionaire Mindset Mentor program. But it's a lot of people that want to be great, that want to learn real estate, that want to get involved. They just really don't know where to start. So that is, it's been a great, again, it's a part of inspiring people and teaching people this business of real estate, that you just, you know, you can't watch HGTV and be successful at a multi-million-dollar business. It just doesn't happen that way. So, you know.
Yeah, and trust me, folks believe that it does. It's not that easy. It is not that easy.
It's not that easy.
You want to give your contact information in case someone wants to actually come and have you speak. Come and have you speak.
Sure.
They want to be able to come and hire you as a, you know, like you said, as a contractor, as a developer, and then even to be into your academy as well.
Sure. So I'm on primarily all social platforms. You can find me on Instagram at Corey D Brown, Corey D Brown, as in the color. I don't have any cool slick names. It's just my name, Corey D Brown. It's the same thing on Facebook, Corey D Brown on Facebook. You can contact me. You can always call my office, C Brown Properties office, which is 114 West Reed Street. That's downtown Baltimore in the Mount Vernon area. That number is 410-521-7050. Again, it's 410-521-7050. My email address is Corey, Corey, at cbrownproperties.com, which, you know, is my website, cbrownproperties.com. So I'm, you know, and then obviously Noir, which is noirbaltimore.com. But most people reach out to me either via Instagram or they just call the office. So I welcome and encourage people. I love to do speaking engagements. I've done several where I've talked to inspiring entrepreneurs and people that are, you know, interested in getting involved in this business. So I'm here, man. I really appreciate you offering this platform to me. I have a story to tell. And at some point, I'm going to have a book that's coming out that's probably going to be in the next 10 years. I'm excited.
I ain't even going to let you go. I'm not going to let you go with that the next 10 years. Brother. That needs to be out now.
Well,
I'm telling you.
A little bit more to my story is still manifesting. So I'm excited about it. It's coming though. I got that coming. So you know, I just enjoy what I do, man. I take a true pleasure in helping people, you know, genuinely from the heart. I'm a giver. You know, God created a giver. I love to give, even at sometimes at the benefit or you know, taken away from myself. And it's just one of those things. I've always been that way. And so I appreciate the opportunity. And, you know, whenever you need me, brother, I'm here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to thank you, brother, for taking time out to share your information, your knowledge, your information, and resources with the viewers that are here today. But I'm grateful for those who are not afraid to share the knowledge, like you said before. What good is the knowledge and information and resources that we have if we're not going to share it?
Yeah.
You know, and so many people out here today, they feel as if when they get information, oh, I got it, but I'm not going. You know, I'm not understanding that we're just a filter. Information is supposed to flow through us.
That's right. That's right.
Not just come and settle in us. And and you get it. You
Yeah,
get
no,
it. You're one of those folks that does get it. So I'm very appreciative of what what you've done today. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be
I
able to
appreciate that.
to be able to do that. And brother, I really want to I really want off air. We'll talk more about this because I really want to connect with you on several other things to talk about where we can talk about. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you talking to other entrepreneurs, inspiring other entrepreneurs, or even those aspiring entrepreneurs, to show
Yeah,
them what it will take in order to be able to bring their visions to reality. And I think that's big because I'm of that generation now where we're like you said, we're building our legacy, and it's our responsibility to show the next generation to make it better for them, but
right.
then also to pour into them, to show them, just like folks have poured into us, to be able to pour back into them, to show them how to, be successful, look successful, walk successful, and especially in this Baltimore area where we are,
It's needed.
it's vital to me
It's needed.
that brothers like you and I, we get put on Front Street, that we talk about it, that we get shown out there, because we know mainstream media is not going to have something like this, where
Right.
you have successful brothers such as yourself doing what you're doing every day on that grind, doing something positive,
Hmm.
and people don't want to talk about it, or don't
Yeah,
talk about it enough. You know what I'm saying? But it's our responsibility. We don't expect other people to do it. We do it ourselves. That's what this is all about. So
absolutely.
I appreciate you taking time out of your day,
True.
and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Brand New Development Series. Woo, this has been a great conversation. Like I
Absolutely.
said, this
Those to watch again.
absolutely.
What's your information so I can so my few followers can hear who you are and follow your podcast as well, brother.
Oh, sure, absolutely. If they want to, they can check out my website, which is www.jnf. That's the letter J, the letter N, the letter F,
Mm-hmm.
enterprises.com. Um,
JNFenterprises.com.
yeah, jnfenterprises.com. I'm on
Okay.
Facebook, JNF Enterprises, or Leroy McKenzie. You can pull it up under each one. Instagram is at JNF Enterprises. Twitter at JNF Enterprises 1. YouTube as well is JNF Enterprises. Everything is JNF Enterprises. You can be able to pull it up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those, and you'll be able to see everything that we have going on and what we got going on.
Well, let me ask you this: will this podcast that we're having be on any of those platforms for me to be able to filter that out as well?
Absolutely, yes, sir. And I can actually send you the file too, if you want me
That'd
to
be good.
send you the file. That way
That'd be
you
good. I
can
love
put
to
it on your
post
web. If you
that.
want to put it on your website too, you can
Yeah,
do that
I
too.
love to do
So
that. Yep.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so you'll be able to do that. Yeah, because we definitely want you to be able to use this as a, like we said, as a branding tool, marketing tool. We want to be able to get it out there because this is part of what what I do, but also in conjunction with Black Professional Men, highlighting, showing black men in positive light, doing positive things,
That's right.
and making our community and our city and our people better. So that's what it's about. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank
It's your
everybody for checking
boy.
this out today, man.
Absolutely. It's Leroy McKenzie Jr., the impact chaser. Because like I said, when you chase the impact, you change the world. We'll
All
talk
right,
to y'all
brother.
soon.
Take it easy.
All right.
Later.